Today's video I'm filming at the Oregon coast, so please enjoy this beautiful view while I compare my average cost of living in Spain to what I'm paying now living back in the United States. And I will say that I do live in a rural area now in Oregon. The population is about 15,000 people. I've never lived in such a small city, but the prices are lower as compared to other parts of the United States. So this is just from my experience, what is the cost difference of living in Spain, the 2 years I spent there living in San Sebastian and Sevilla. I've added up the averages of those prices with the cost that I'm paying now in the United States, living in Oregon in a small town. So let me break down the prices for you, and I hope this video helps. In Sevilla, I lived with 4 other girls, and we split up the cost of everything together. In San Sebastian, I lived with 2 other girls, and it was the same thing. We split up the cost of prices. Now in Oregon, in the United States, I split the cost with just my mom. So take that into account when I give these prices. All right, let's start with pay, right? So in Spain, both years I was living there in Sevilla and San Sebastian, I was making 800 euros as a language assistant. I also made some extra cash as an English tutor on the side, and that would give me about 50 to 100 euros extra per month. And in the United States, working at Toyota in car sales, I was making bi-weekly 1,750 US dollars. So monthly, it's about 3,500 US dollars. Now here's the sad part, the hours spent working. Okay, so in Sevilla, in San Sebastian, the amount of hours I worked was about 12 to 14 hours per week. Now the hours I was working in the US, 45 to 50 hours. So working a lot more. So when you put that in account with the money I was making, I don't know. You tell me which one's better. Okay, and rent. On average in Spain for the whole apartment that me and my roommates rented, it was about 1,450 euros. And then the average cost once split is about 377 euros per month, was like my average portion of rent in Spain. Now in the USA, where I'm living now in this small town in Oregon, we got a really nice place. It's a duplex, so meaning it's a house split in 2. And the whole price of rent is $1,000, but I split it with my mom, so it's about 500 US dollars. Then you have utilities, right? So utilities worked a little differently in Spain. Every 3 to 4 months, we would get this really big bill of utilities, and it was like, pay now. And I was like, whoa. So on average, the whole bill in Sevilla and San Sebastian was about 389 euros. Okay, but then my portion being 119 euros. Now in the United States, where we live now, we're fortunate enough that our landlord pays for utilities, electricity, garbage, water, all that. So my price right now in the US for this is actually 0. So I was actually paying a lot more in Spain for this. But according to move.org, Americans spend about 401 US dollars per month for these expenses. And in Spain, it was about every 3 months. So it's very interesting how it's set up. Groceries. So my groceries on average in Spain, I spent about 30 euros a week, coming out to 120 euros per month. I would say quite the steal. Of course, just shopping for myself. Now being in the USA, I'm living with my mom, so we share the groceries that we eat. We take about 3 to 4 trips a month to go grocery shopping, and each trip is about $150. So total that, the monthly expense being $350 a month for groceries. Then we have Wi-Fi. Again, this expense was shared with my roommates. Monthly, it's about $31.50. My portion being $8.50. The price of the Wi-Fi in the USA is about $50. And luckily my mom covers this, so for me it's 0. We have the Wi-Fi brand Spectrum. It's popular in Oregon. Phone bills. My phone bill in Spain was about 26 euros a month, and in the US, it's about 47 US dollars per month with US Cellular. Transportation. So in Spain, transportation is amazing. You have great public transportation, whether it's bus, train, metro. On average, since I was living in Spain, I was a resident there. That alone brings the cost down of transportation. So it was about 58 cents on average every trip, which is really cheap, right? Now, where I'm living now in Oregon, it's such a small town. There's not really such a thing as public transport. There is a community bus that you can call if you need a ride, but I haven't used that. I probably never will. We do have a car. With that, we fill up gas. So it's about $50 every time to fill up the gas tank. and it of course fluctuates depending on the prices of gas. And we do get the top line, the premium gas, because the car needs it. So per month, it's about $100 to $150 for gas. And of course, I split this cost with my mom, so it's about $75 a month for gas. Eating out. In Spain, you can eat out for about 12 euros and 50 cents. And of course, that price can go up depending on how much you're eating. On average, the prices that I paid was around this much. Now in the US, to go out and eat, you're spending about $30 to $40 to eat. It's great. Clothing. In Spain, when I went shopping, I feel like the average price of things was about 15 euros. And I'm talking about places like Zara, Bershka, or even like the small little boutiques. They had similar prices. Being in the US, prices are about $20 to $50 for a single article of clothing. Manicure. In Spain, on average, a gel manicure is about 15 euros, give or take a couple dollars less, a couple dollars more. And if you're gonna get a mani-pedi, it's about 35 euros. In the States, a gel manicure is about $40 plus tip, a mani-pedi being $70 plus tip. Haircut. A haircut in Spain costs about 10 to 30 euros, and that's for women. As for men, it was about 10 to 20 euros. The average cost of a haircut in America is about $45 to $75 for women and $25 to $40 for men. Entertainment. To go out and to be entertained. On average, I feel like the price is about 16 euro in Spain, and in the US, it's about $30, and this is like including movies. And if you go out to concerts or things like that, the price just keeps going up. Nightlife in Spain. So you'd get a ticket to go out to the discoteca. It's about 13.50 euros, and that typically includes 1 or 2 free drinks. And once you start paying for your own drinks, it's about 4 to 8 euros, depending on what you're drinking. Of course, the price goes up depending on how much you drink. In the USA, to go to the club, it's about $10 to $20 entrance fee. This does not include a free drink typically. Once you're in the club and you order a drink, it's about $12 to $20 each drink, depending on what you order. And again, the more you drink, the more expensive it's going to be. That's the breakdown of the cost of living and my experience living in Spain and my experience living back in the US. I hope this helps. Again, I am living in like a more rural town than I've ever lived in it before, so the prices are less than they would be in other major cities. Take that into account, and I did just take the average of my experience living in Sevilla, the south of Spain, and San Sebastian, the north of Spain. Take this into account for your next trip there, or if you're planning on moving. I hope this helped. Bye.